Solving quadratic inequalities. So we've got two things. They sound real similar, and I just want you to know the difference between the two, what we're expected to do between the two, and what it's asking for. So one of it is just graphing quadratic inequalities. The other one is solving quadratic inequalities by graphing. So if I am graphing a quadratic inequality, let me just use this for example and just say y is greater than x squared plus 6x plus 6. Okay? Y is greater than x squared plus 6x plus 6. Okay, the important thing to know in these kind of problems, there is a y in it. Okay? There is a y. The steps that we used for solving this, if you recall, was first we graph the related function. And you're going to use a solid or dotted line for that. Remember that? You do a test point or pick a test point in the parabola. You should be making a parabola, A-B-O-L-A, okay. Do a test point in the parabola. 3, shade inside if true. You're doing a test point, so you're testing to see if the inequality is true or not. And since you've tested, your test point is in the parabola, we're going to shade inside if true, we're going to shade outside if false. Okay, so that's kind of a step-by-step on that. We'll do this in a minute. This is a different kind of problem. So x squared minus x minus 6 is less than or equal to 0. First step is, first of all, there's no y. There's no y in this. It's just all x's. Okay? So the first thing is, we're still going to do this. We're going to graph the related function. Okay, a function is not an inequality. A function has an equal sign in it. Inequalities have less than or equal to, or less than or greater than or equal to, or greater than or less than. All right, second thing. Okay, when you graph, the important points, make sure you get the vertex, makes it nice, and the zeros. Make sure those are absolutely on it. Okay. And then after you've graphed, okay, for less than 0 or less than or equal to 0, look where the graph, the parabola, is above. No, I said less than, right? So what should I say? Less than or equal. Look where the graph is below the x-axis. That's our 0 line. And answer based on that. And for greater than 0 or greater than or equal to 0, look where the parabola is above the x-axis. And answer. Okay, if I could just contrast one more thing. The answer here is a parabola and shading. The answer here is something. The answer here would be something like x is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or might look something like x is greater than blank or x is less than blank or something like that. Okay? That's what your answers would look like for this question. This one, it would be a parabola and then shading or something like this. Okay? Just note what we're looking for on these. Now, y is greater than x squared plus 6x plus 6. So graph the related function. We're going to graph y equals x squared plus 6x plus 6. I just took the inequality out, put an equal sign in. And mark these points here. There's different ways of doing it. I'm starting to let you use some technology on this, but I'm going to just, for review's sake, one of the things we've been doing is completing the square. So I'll go x squared plus 6x, and this will give us the vertex, when we do that. And that's a good point to have. Remember the 6 over 2 squared? That's 3 squared, and that's 9. So I'm going to add 9 here, subtract 9 here. Is this making sense? Things we've done. So this will be x plus 3 squared. 6 minus 9 is negative 3. So the vertex, and remember the crazy house, is negative 3, and this stays the same, negative 3. So let's go ahead and plot our vertex. Negative 3 right here. And then we just need a table, and then we'll just kind of fill things in. I am going to also put in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. Why did I do that? Why do I know I can do that, Carson? Does everybody know that's the y-intercept there? Okay, good. And this is the axis of symmetry here. I go 1, 2, 3 on this side, 1, 2, 3 on this side as well. All right. I'm going to put in, I'm going to just figure out what negative 2 and 1 are real quick. Negative 2 squared plus 6 times negative 2 plus 6. I'm using the original. Oh, that might have been a better one. That's all right. So 4 minus 12 plus 6. That is negative 2. All right? Just negative 8 plus 6 is negative 2. If I use negative 1, negative 1 squared plus 6 times negative 1 plus 6, that's 1. This is minus 6 plus 6. That's 0. 1 and 0 make 1. So let's put negative 2 here, negative 1, 1 here, and then go blank, blank, and then blank, 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 blank. Okay. And solid or dotted? I thought of it. Sometimes I don't think of it and I just start doing everything solid. What should I do here? Dotted this one. Let's make this one dotted. We got nice points here. Okay, so there is our related function, graphed with a dotted line. Now we need a test point. Grayson, question or correction? Okay, yeah. Okay, we need a test point. Mark, Anthony? What did you say? Negative 3, 0. Test point right here. It's inside. That's a good one. It's definitely inside. So let's plug that into the original inequality. I got y is greater than x squared plus 6x plus 6. So y, for the test point Mark Anthony gave us, is 0. X is negative 3 squared plus 6 times negative 3 plus 6. Okay, this is 9 minus 18 plus 6. Is 0 greater than negative 9 plus 6? Negative 3. Is 0 greater than negative 3? Yes. Yeah, that's true. Where am I shading? Inside. If the point is inside, it's true. We shade inside the parabola. Okay. Any ordered pair inside the parabola will be true. Those are all solutions to this. The solutions are ordered pairs here. So that's why we do the shading. We're shading the region that has the right ordered pairs in it. Okay? Now, this one, x squared plus or minus x minus 6 is less than or equal to 0. I'm going to just kind of get rid of this. We're going to solve it by graphing, so we need to graph y equals x squared minus x minus 6. All right. I'm going to take a different route on this one. I'm going to go negative b over 2a. Friday we were using technology. You can do that if you want on solving these. But I'm going to go the negative b over 2a route to get the vertex, at least the x-coordinate of the vertex. And that is, a is 1, b is negative 1. So double negative 1 is 1. 2 times 1. So that's 1/2. You want me to use 1/2 or 0.5? 0.5. I'll go with the first answer right here. All right, so 0.5. So y is going to be 0.5 squared minus 0.5 minus 6. So that's 0.25. 5 times 5, 2 decimals. 0.25 minus 0.5 minus 6. That's negative 6.25. So our vertex is 0.5 for the x-coordinate, negative 6.25 for the y-coordinate. 0.5 is this side. 0.5, I went the wrong side last period, so. 0.5, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and some change right here. Negative 6.25. Now, something I note here is that negative 6, right, is the y-intercept. And then if I go half a unit, I'm at the axis symmetry. If I go half a unit here, so 1/6 is also a point on this. I'm just trying to make a graph. I'm going for 2 more points. And the other 2 points, I think I said we really need the zeros. The zeros are very important in this. So remember, x equals negative b. This will give it to us plus or minus square root the b squared minus 4ac. All of that over 2a. All right, b is negative 1. That's 1 plus or minus square root of negative 1 squared minus 4. A is 1, right? And c is, what's c? I didn't give myself enough room. Negative 6, good, over 2 times 1. That's 1 plus or minus. Can I help you?
No, this is possible. I wanted a last minute exam, but I do. I'm going to head up.
Okay. This is 1 minus negative 24. That's 1 plus 24 is 25, so it's not going to be bad. 1 plus or minus 5 over 2. Now 1 plus 5 over 2 is 6 divided by 2 is 3. 1 minus 5 over 2 is negative 4 divided by 2, which is negative 2. So 1, 2, 3, and negative 2. Those are the zeros. Okay, I'm not worried about solid or dotted here, per se. I'm worried about just kind of the vertex and the zeros of the parabola. So getting that plotted. Is everybody good there? Now, the answer is, okay, for this is less than or equal to 0. So we're looking where the graph, this is the graph, the whole thing's the graph. Right here, you see that we are below 0 here? You see that? This is the x parts that are corresponding to that. Right? This is an and or an or? And or an or? And or or? It is an and. X, and this is less than or equal to 3, greater than or equal to negative 2. Okay? All right, so this is the kind of answer we're looking for when there's no y. When there is a y, this is the kind of thing we're looking for. You see the difference? Okay, that's one of the goals. My job for you here is pick 2 of these problems from 1 to 3, and then pick 2 problems to do on 4 through 6. Okay?